let's talk about like dream events. Like what's an event that you guys have done or been a part of that was just like, you know, to this day sticks with you? And then an extension of that question would be like, what's your target? Like, what's your bucket list event? Like, what are a couple of events that you would love to do someday? You know, obviously there's big ones or unique ones, but just go anywhere with that you want.
One that sticks with me a lot was the All-Star game last season. That was intense.
Yeah.
Having not really done basketball at all until last season, then jumping into that was pretty hardcore. Like, it went well. I'm like thankful for the experience. Like, to this day, I still think back, like, man, you did that. But jumping into it, I was like, dude, how did I get here?
Yeah, that was a wild one. So for last summer, we had WNBA All-Star in Las Vegas, hosted by the Aces, obviously. And, you know, I was actually directing that show that Joe was a part of, and we had a whole week of rehearsals and everything. But nothing can really properly prepare you for like an All-Star Saturday night DJ experience. There's just so much, and it's so fast. And he had half a season under his belt. Yep, half a season under his belt. I was nervous for you, dude. I was nervous for you. I mean, we spent a lot of time, you know, obviously talking through details and stuff, but it's no easy feat. Like that would be a challenge for anybody. Any skilled DJ would be. It's a long night. But yeah, you absolutely crushed that, and you know, through your sweats and all that, you definitely impressed some people at the league. You got a lot of kudos.
And I'm trying to get to a WNBA All-Star, man. Hopefully DC could host one this year. Yeah. It's my first year at NBA All-Star.
You were out in Chicago this year, right?
Huh?
You were out in Chicago this year, right?
Yeah, it was my first time doing an NBA All-Star weekend. So, you know, shout out to Ivy. You know, I got some advice from her since she's the pro. So that was something, you know.
Girl.
Yeah, you know, my nerves were bad.
You sound just like, you got this, you know.
Nerves were bad that weekend. So, you know, thank you, Ivy. You know, thank you, Matt. You know, everybody out there that encouraged me. And, you know, I got to do 2 WNBA finals back to back. Of course, the second is the best one, especially since, you know, the previous year's finals, you know, our arena was still being built. So we had to play on a college campus. So, but, you know, for this year, the first year in the brand new arena, and, you know, they just reran them on ESPN the other day. So I got to watch the WNBA finals, and I had no clue it really gets that loud in our arena. Like,
yeah, I was there. Me and Sully traveled out and got to listen to your soundtrack for the championship, and this was the result of that first one.
Listen, my ring is coming. I'm waiting for them to say. The ring is ready
today.
I got fitted for my ring. I'm just waiting for them to say the ring is ready.
Congratulations! No, you're ready. We're coming back. We're coming back. We got 2 shots in the chamber. We got Storm coming hot, and we got Aces. We got fully loaded squads. Let's go.
It's going to be a great WNBA season.
It's going to be amazing. I'm so anxious for this stuff to start.
So yeah, I'm gunning for, you know, I definitely want to experience a WNBA All-Star. Hopefully they could bring it to DC one day.
When I first started, I set 5 goals. One was to make it through season 1, which I obviously did. 2 was to be invited to some sort of All-Star or something, and you know, I feel like this year was 3. And I've been fortunate enough to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday was I couldn't, SPAC-Man, like, I understand why one person honestly cannot do, you know, a Saturday. That would just be, it can't happen. But the way we were able to do it, especially with just the dunks and how that situation panned out, was a whole heck of a lot of fun. 3 was to obviously segue my way into some international stuff, and NBA Africa being one of those. And, you know, Matt, and D and everybody at 3 Point, we've done the China run. Like, that was amazing. And then obviously, you know, and Matt will tell you the story about how I told him this story, and he goes, "Oh, hey, we produced the Africa game." And I was just like, "Oh, wonderful. Well, can I come?" You know, and being able to do that with, you know, a lot of the local music to mixed in with what we do in the league was just like a dream come true, honestly. And hopefully when we can travel, if when the world opens back, we can extend that to BAL, which I've been really, really excited about because I've just been pulling stuff specifically for that.
Oh, I know. Right before this, so just so you guys all know, right before this, Ivy, myself, and Brian Hayes, Derek, who also with us, we were all set to go out and launch the Basketball Africa League out in Senegal. We were like, like a week out from traveling.
Pretty much a week out.
Week out from traveling when all this stuff broke. I mean, luckily, I guess it happened on the front end, so we're not stuck out there. That would be kind of horrible at this point.
That was the other part of it. We could have also just still been in
Senegal. So there's some blessings there, but at the same time, it's pushed obviously the launch of this huge league and a huge initiative from the NBA. We've been putting a lot of work in, but it's just postponed right now, for obvious reasons. But we'll get out there, Ivy. We'll make it happen.
All right, we'll go back to that. Yeah, so that has happened.
We'll go back to Africa. That'll be a fun one for sure.
It'll be super fun. I mean, I would love to work with FIBA and Team USA. That's 4. 5 obviously would be to be around when the Mavs win a championship again. I was there when they lost in 2006. I was in Africa in 2011. I just feel like it's because, the Lord above wants me to be able to actually be there and get a ring, So there's that part. Obviously, cool things that have happened. A lot of cool stuff has happened. I just realized, obviously watching Kobe's last game in the league, watching Jordan's last game in the league, watching Dirk retire in the league, and now, and soundtracking that and just being a part of that. Covered some stuff like watching Gino break and UConn win their 91st straight game. I happened to cover for Eric over at SMU.
That's a good one to take over for.
Yeah, absolutely. That was like perfect, and perfect timing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Once we can get back into the finals of things, I feel like everything will have been checked off and some Olympic stuff, and I think I'll be good. I think I'll be satisfied.
Yeah, well, if there's anything we can do to help you guys along the way, we'll definitely be here for you and try to get you obviously weaved into all the events that we hope resume also soon. There's one project actually, Tim, I'm going to kind of steer this conversation a little bit just because I definitely want to hear about it because I know you had to kind of rethink, what we all know is an NBA game. Talk a little bit about the Prince game that you were a part of with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The big note there is that they programmed an entire NBA game, from doors open to doors closed, reimagined every single aspect of the game, defense prompts, offense beds, defense beds, hypes, traditions that they've brought in, that they've had at their games, noise things, and just reimagined them through a Prince filter. It was absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, knowing that the City Edition, came out, and so then it was decided that we're going to host 5 of these games throughout the year, that we decided let's make wall-to-wall everything Prince, which you come at me with that with certain people, it's kind of like, man, this is going to take so much effort and work, and like, how do I find little snippets here and there? But thankfully, we have a guy in our team who's my co-director at the Timberwolves, as well as he's the director of music at the Lynx, DJ Dudley.
Use your cheat code.
What's that?
Use your cheat code.
Oh, he's my beyond cheat code. So DJ Dudley D, who's also on our Generation Now Entertainment team, he toured with Prince for 20 years as his tour DJ. So he's got the library upon library of Prince that includes stuff that you've never heard in your life, and he actually has every Monday night, if you ever want to watch him, he's got Manic Monday every Monday going on Twitch. But honestly, without him, I'm not even close to putting that together. So it's a definite team effort. We would honestly segment things up to just be like, here's when the ball goes out of bounds, here's a page of 70 songs that we can play for 12 seconds or less.
So cool, man. It was so cool.
The songs that we can play for the dancers in the fourth quarter, because we got to make sure that it's got a BPM that's going to work for them. The traveling calls, the jump ball calls. Again, like you said, we brought in band members that used to play with Prince, and they created defensive prompts for us, and then I just hotkeyed all those.
Dude, it was honestly so cool to take in. Like, Tim,
you guys have goosebumps thinking about it right now because he just had his 4-year.
I have goosebumps just thinking about it too, because I guess the untold story here is that the game was really close. It went down to probably, I would say, almost every coach's timeout was used.
Yep.
The Timberwolves hung on to a clinger. I think it was against the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And yeah, it was just like a close game, came out of the wire. And I honestly, I was sitting there as like a game ops professional. I was like, oh my God, like, are they going to be forced to break what they've done all game? Because it's just extending to the point where, you got to have hot timeouts. You got all these different scenarios that, all these, all these people on this call have dealt with late in these games, these swings and roller coaster of emotions that are happening, and how you have to soundtrack that on a drop of a dime. And to have all that cataloged for Prince was just so freaking incredible.
Yeah, it makes.
Honestly, my hats off to you and the whole gang that worked on that, because I honestly wish everybody could jump in and watch that game from a game ops perspective, or DJs or producers, because you guys, the fact that you just hung true the whole game and like did not break it, and there was no filler time. It wasn't like you felt like it was quiet at times. Like you guys, like you said, the inbound stuff, you had filler content for everything. It was super impressive.
I'm not gonna lie to you that we were getting down to like.
Oh yeah, I was imagining, dude.
If this goes to overtime, man, I'm gonna have to
I
don't like replaying songs ever in any game, and I was just like, I might have to go back and play something I played in the third quarter, which just bothers me. But I know.
Yeah, I hate that too. Yeah.
Less, but thankfully it worked out, and so yeah, that was one of the hardest, I think, games that we've ever had to come up with. But at the same time, so appreciative, and knowing the halftime acts that it was just crazy.